I chose to run for president for the purpose of running these ads. I had a life-changing experience in March of 2022. I recovered the remains of 115 aborted children, and 5 of them were past the age of viability. They were thrown into a box labeled medical waste and were headed for an incinerator in Baltimore. Um, Disrupting that delivery of those fetal remains to the incinerator has rocked my world. There's just no coming back from that. I have seen the victims of the abortion extremism that comes from my party, the Democratic Party, and is a direct result of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's abortion policy. And I am determined to show these victims to the American people. Now, as you know, censorship is something that we regularly have to combat in the pro-life movement. And so, as a federal candidate, as a presidential candidate, any state where I'm on the ballot, any FCC TV station must run my ads uncensored. So this is an attempt to show the American people what abortion extremism has done to these children, and to give a voice to the fact that there are leftists like myself who recognize that abortion is a grave human rights violation and not something to be embraced by anyone, regardless of political party. The pro-life movement has really moderated and shied away from showing the victims of abortion, and tried to use language that doesn't really speak to the reason why we oppose it. And so the other side is doing such a good job highlighting the victims of, the hard edge of our position, but people who sympathize with the pro-life cause, even a little bit, very few of them know what an abortion victim looks like, or really knows and understands the reality that abortion is happening for elective reasons in the 3rd trimester, because the other side's telling them that's not true. And we've done such a poor job, I think, proving that through the victim imagery. And I think that when we can light a fire underneath our base, once they remember and realize that these are real victims that are being killed every single day in this country by the thousands, then I think that we're going to have a stronger shift. But at the end of the day, the American people need leadership. And even in social justice movements like the civil rights movement, for example, there was a lot of animosity towards groups like the Freedom Riders, and people who were kind of pushing the envelope. And people thought that, the polling that may have been in their favor in the beginning was they were losing some of that because of what was perceived as aggressive tactics. But at the end of the day, we recognize that we wouldn't have had a successful civil rights movement in this country had the Freedom Riders not taken the risks that they did. And I think that our movement needs to recognize that there is a science to social justice. And the first step is showing the victims, acknowledging that abortion is murder, and refusing to shy away from it, and showing real leadership from here on out.